Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this Friday evening, Friday, February 4th, 2022. Jeremy Crosby here. Andrew Bamlett in the middle of a cornfield in Nebraska, I bet. That's my guess today. We're ready to bring you Talking Fitchburg here. He says it's cold out there. It is a little bit cold out there, and you'll look to warm temperatures coming up this weekend. So get out there and take advantage of the great weather as it moves in, and more light too. We're on the up track now for more light. So up until the middle of June now, we just keep getting more and more light every single day, which is awesome. And for Bamlin and I, it's the fishing. We like that we can go fishing longer at night, and compared at the end of the season when you're off the lake, an hour different than you started with, at the beginning of the summer. So anyways, that's that. We've got the mayor. We'll check with the mayor of Fitchburg, all the police updates earlier a month as we work through today. Those are our guests, and we'll start with your headlines for the day. And Fitchburg EMS has been selected to participate in a lights and sirens study. This is what they say, as Fitchburg EMS is honored to be selected as one of the 50 departments nationwide to participate in this national effort to reduce the use of lights and sirens, both responding to and transporting from calls for service. Our goal is to minimize the risk to the public while respond and transport. Stay tuned over the next few months as we work with not only our local departments that are part of this, City of Madison Fire Department, Deer Grove EMS, and Monona Fire Department, along with other agencies from across the country to lower the combined risks and improve our patient outcomes. This is a national EMS quality improvement partnership with a heavy support from the National EMS Quality Alliance and buy-in from medical directors down to line personnel. Pet licenses. You need to get your pet license. If you haven't already done so, you can do that through the clerk's department, and we'll tell you how easy it is. Pet licenses are available in person at City Hall or by mailing and using our drop box at City Hall. When mailing the application for your dog or pet licenses, please include a copy of your current rabies vaccination certificate. Payment, do not include any other payments with those pet licenses, and a self-addressed stamped envelope. We will then mail you the license tag and your rabies information back to you. You may also leave these materials in the drop box at City Hall, and we will mail you your license tag and rabies information back to you. If you have any question, check in with our clerk's department. Their number is 608-270-4200, and download the application and brochure from our website at fitchburgwi.gov. And Andrew has got the fees there on the screen. The late fee for this is April 1st, so it's a $5 fee if you don't get that taken care of before then. So make sure you get that done if you haven't already. All right, energy assistance. Do you need help with heating and or electric costs for current heating season? The Wisconsin Home Energy Assistant Program, WEAP, provides assistance for heating costs, electric costs, and energy crisis. Your household may be eligible for WEAP services based on a number of factors, including household size, income, and energy costs. In most cases, the energy assistant benefit is paid directly to the energy supplier. For a one-person household, the monthly income limit is $2,591.92. For the two-person household, the monthly income limit is $3,389.42. Still can't read. You're welcome. For more information to apply for energy assistance, contact the Energy Services Incorporated at 627-8601. All right, Valentine's Day is coming up. You're like, well, I've got an idea, maybe. Well, I've got some ideas for you with some local shopping. Check this out: Valentine's at the Farmer Makers Market. That's right. Join us and over 40 local makers for Valentine's at the Farm Makers Market. If you're looking to mix up the Valentine's week, swing by for some shopping and activities. There's no cover charges here on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. And after that, they have some fun special events coming up. On February 11th from 5 to 9 p.m., $25 gets you access to the Makers booths while enjoying some live music, drinks, and food. February 12th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., it's $20, and you get to some drinks and a light brunch, $15 for those kiddos, and they get unlimited hot cocoa. Nothing like getting them hopped up on chocolate and sugar, right? Yeah, food, and better yet, some fun activities. February 12th from 6 to 10 p.m., $20 gets you 2 drinks and a variety of sweets. 13th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. For $50, you have access to create your own one-of-a-kind floral bouquet. Yeah, I'm doing that for Andrew and enjoying brats. Like, I'll take you and you and I can go together, Andrew, eat some brats, and we'll make a one-of-a-kind floral. It is highly encouraged to buy tickets in advance. Oh my goodness. You should check this out. Fitchburg Farms. That's where it's at. COVID-19 vaccine clinic will be happening on Valentine's Day at the Badger Prairie Needs Network. After a successful first-time vaccine clinic, BPNN is back and will be running this free COVID vaccine clinic. Mark your calendars on Monday, February 14th from 5 to 7 p.m. Badger Prairie Needs Network. No appointment needed. They'll have all those vaccines on hand. And, of course, that's while supplies last. No ID or insurance is required. And everyone 5 and older is welcome. And of course, check out any information about the vaccine. You can go to the Public Health of Madison-Dane County or CDC for the latest information. That does it for our headlines. Coming up next, we check in with the mayor, and later on, we'll check in with the police department. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus, so follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. Use a delivery service for essential items like food and medicine. If you must make essential trips, stay 6 feet apart from other people. Wear a cloth face covering and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
Me the bed, see you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. Where you at? Underlay in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Bob.
You know you can talk to me.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready!
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today is your mayor of Fitchburg, Aaron Richardson. Aaron, welcome back to the show and Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me as always.
Doesn't it feel like we were just saying Happy New Year, we'll see you next year? It goes by so fast. It's so fast.
Yeah, 33 weeks in almost.
Yeah, right. Well, crazy as it is, we have an update as we like to have you on the show each and every month, and we appreciate your time. Hope you had a fun and safe holidays, and we'll kick things off here with the talk of ARPA and TIDS, which we call the investment plans. Tell us what's going on there and what you're working on specifically right now.
Yeah, right now we are working on projects that we want to use the ARPA funds that we got from the government. And also because we are closing a TID this year, there is money in that TID that I don't want to say is left over, but is essentially in that TID. So when it closes, that comes to the city, and we can use that to invest in the city as well. It's one-time funds, and so we want to make sure we're doing kind of a one-off projects, things that don't have the recurring expenses. And so you're really looking for projects, not necessarily people. It's not a good use to add people. That's what we used the budget for last year, and I'm sure we'll continue doing and adding people. But it's great for investments in infrastructure or materials, or one of the things we're probably going to have on that list is making sure that we upgrade the Zoom and meeting equipment in our council chambers and also in what's called our Genie Ceiling Room, so we can continue to provide meeting access to residents throughout the city.
Yeah, and there was a meeting that you guys had, kind of an initial cow meeting, kind of explaining that process. When you're, so kind of walk us through that decision process of what you're doing, and then moving forward, how will these projects come up? Will you put them through budget, CIP? How does that work?
Yeah, so I have kind of created a list of projects that I feel like we should utilize for these two buckets. And there's some restrictions on what we can use in ARPA funds. There's really no restrictions on the TID funds. And so with these list of projects, they're going to be in a bunch of different buckets. And once I kind of release that, if you will, council members can then go and do amendments, I suppose you could call them, where they might say, hey, I also want to do this project, or I don't think this project is important. So they'll have that option, and the public is welcome to come to our meetings and say what they like and don't like. The nice thing about this is that we don't really have to have it balanced to the penny like we do for our operating budget, especially CIP to a lesser extent, but that is one advantage. So I really expect actually to be more projects than money available, which is good and bad. You know, I don't want to set that expectation that we're going to do all these things, because it's not approving those projects. It's really kind of that first step in the process. And so there might be some projects on there. We're not going to do all these things in 1 year. That's another big important thing, is that there's a long list of projects. Staff can't do that many things in 1 year. But what we'll do then as we go into the CIP, which traditionally had been the first big part of the budget, is that some of those projects will go on the CIP, and then in funding, it'll show ARPA funds or TID funds. It could also still be borrowing. That's the traditional one. It could also be just the general fund, if you will, taxes as well. So that'll just kind of be another option. And so as we go through CIP, I'll have all these projects, and some of them will be on this list that we created. And then the council again and again say, yeah, awesome, great, or we want to do this project instead of that project. So there's lots of things on there. Some of them have higher priorities than others. And there's, 100 other projects that we could do. And really anything on our CIP could be eligible, if you would. We could use that, and it would hopefully reduce our borrowing in the future. But it's really a great opportunity for us to try to impact a large part of the city, and also to increase our flexibility for future years. So if we can get a bunch of projects that we were supposed to borrow for and use this money instead, that enables us, if we have to borrow money in the future, to do that. We want to be very careful about what we're borrowing money for, but it does give us that flexibility in future years.
I appreciate the breakdown. I think that helps kind of pull it all together here. And we are working into our CIP, capital improvement plan is coming up. So on top of you guys working on that front, staff is just getting underway with updating that. For people who aren't familiar with that side of things, although similar to what you just talked about, how does that plan work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, CIP, the capital improvement projects, those are generally big projects. Generally, not always, but generally, hundreds of $1,000s, millions of dollars, plows, a lot of equipment, those types of things. And so the different areas of the city, different departments submit the requests. And then kind of similar, I go through those, and we do have more of a budget for that. And I do need to keep it to that budget. I release that. Again, council can say, we would like to do this instead of that. They can pass amendments, and then that feeds into our operating budget. And that's really the final step. And that's where the rubber hits the road. Anything can really change until we pass that. And that would be the final step. But the CIP is an important part of that, because we have a lot of needs. There's a lot of big projects coming up, and you've seen a lot of projects in the past. I mean, that's really where things like Fitchburg Road were originally put into, and you saw where that is. So we're really looking long term.
It does. I like to think of it as a roadmap, being our department head here for Fact TV. We use it as a roadmap for those big projects that are coming down the road. But all of this will unfold right here on Fact TV. So stay tuned for that. And as you roll out the investment plan, we'll be sharing that and look forward to more updates on that front. So thank you for that update. We appreciate it. Quickly, Town of Madison, that is coming up now faster than ever. We're finally here on the year that it will happen. What is staff internally working on right now as we get closer to coming together?
I think pretty much every department in the city is working on something with Town of Madison, and they're meeting on a regular basis. Some are more intensive than others, but we're constantly talking internally, talking to the town and also to the city, and making sure that we're all on the same page, because the end of October is when that transition happens, and there's lots of moving parts to that. So we're continuing to do that. We're going to continue to share information on our website. There's a webpage for that. And we'll be doing some outreach to the people who live in the town of Madison that are coming to Fitchburg as the year goes on as well. And just want to make sure things are as smooth as possible for them. And they hopefully love being in Fitchburg as much as I do.
We all do here, Mr. Mayor. So we appreciate your update today. Thank you so much. And we'll look forward to checking back with you next month.
All right. Thanks for having me.
You bet. That is your Mayor of Fitchburg. We check in with him monthly, and we'll keep you up to date on all the latest information that he just talked about. We do that every day here on Talking Fitchburg. Take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps. Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
Ready!
We don't have time for spills.
Next. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today for the Fitchburg Police Department, it's Lieutenant Hartwig. Ned, back in the hot seat and ready to give us an update. Ned, Happy New Year and welcome back to TF.
Happy New Year, Jeremy. Happy winter, cold weather, and everything that comes along with it.
Oh man, I do feel bad for you folks out there that are on the road and the officers during these cold spells, but still glad you're out there and keeping us all safe. We'll jump right into it. I kind of wanted to have a discussion with you about what happens in shots fired cases. Sometimes we have these shots fired incidents happen and we report them. I'll tell you what it is. We're looking, you know anything, obviously we want you can submit a tip and everything, but from your standpoint, we're not going to talk about any specific case, but in general, what happens once the release goes out and what's happening behind the scenes?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think sometimes people wonder when a minimal release comes out with very little information that we responded to an address and we collected some evidence, what that looks like and what happens with that. And it depends. Obviously, every situation is a little bit different based on where that happens, what time of day. But the first point that you mentioned is something to always keep in mind. we want to make sure that people are calling us regardless of if they know it's a gunshot or fireworks or whatever the situation may be. We want to know about these incidents so that we can go and start an investigation. And we'd much rather find out it's not a shot fired and go from there. But once we confirm that there were shots fired, we're looking for physical evidence first and foremost to confirm where that actually happened, and to give us a clue as to what other pieces of evidence we may be looking for. We're obviously going to confirm that no property or people were struck. We start reaching out to make sure that if anyone comes into a hospital with gunshot wounds, that then we're following up on that right away. So really we're preserving evidence, and then we're starting to look for video surveillance with the prevalence of home video surveillance, and in conjunction with all the commercial businesses that have surveillance video footage. Chances are we're going to find something of evidentiary value out there that might help us in our investigation. And then we really start talking and trying to connect with people. If it's in a residential area or apartment complex, did you see anything? Did you hear anything? What happened? What may have been happening before this incident occurred? And then from there, we really just work with what we have. And the biggest thing to keep in mind is that these incidents happen throughout Dane County and are often linked to either another weapons offense where shots were fired or another type of incident. And so the partnerships with our other law enforcement agencies are critical. We're working on expanding our capabilities right now to analyze physical evidence that's left behind and from shell casings, so those can link incidents together. And it's really just working whatever evidence we have, if names come up, vehicles, and trying to get to the bottom of it, because the first step in taking care of these incidents once they've occurred is really finding the people responsible and making sure that we're imparting the seriousness on the rest of the criminal justice system so that they're held accountable. So it's that initial call, it may seem like there's not a whole lot of information that comes out, but I can assure you that a whole lot of work is going on behind the scenes depending on the scenario.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched too on the partnership between departments, because you are working in conjunction, and we're lucky. I mean, that's a cool thing about public safety. No matter police, fire, EMS, you do come together for these things and work the case, if you will, to find out what happened and whatever justice needs to happen or outcomes from said things. So when these do happen, basically we issue a press release once we know some information, and then getting tips in. So super important to help you guys, no matter what it is. If we're talking property crime, if we're talking shots fired, submitting tips is very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And we understand people's interest in remaining anonymous. There are opportunities. Madison Area Crime Stoppers is a great organization that makes it very easy to submit tips, and not only that, but to get cash rewards if those tips lead to an arrest. And so that's one avenue, but we're also just willing to talk to people on the phone, in person, and hear what they have to say. More often than not, just a small piece of information can make a huge difference in which direction an investigation goes, and getting someone that's committing a violent crime, out of our community and protecting the rest of the community.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that information with us. I think it's good to know and hear open that door a little bit to understand what does happen behind the scenes. On the property crime front, it is winter time. Certainly, it doesn't seem to stop some of the thefts that do happen with property crime. But as you're looking at wintertime right now, what are you guys seeing out there as far as property crime?
So we have seen the intermittent thefts of vehicles where they're left warming up in the morning, typically. We continue to see burglaries and thefts from vehicles. And again, the overwhelming majority are instances where cars are left unlocked, doors are left unlocked, garage doors are left open. We have also seen at least one incident where local health club, an individual had gone in and taken keys from a locker room and stolen a car. So I think the takeaway is, when we're dealing with property, especially high value property like car keys in a car, and most certainly firearms is another trend that we've seen tying back into the shots fired incidents. People I would encourage them to really take that extra step and thought as to how can I best secure this piece of property, my car keys, my home, what is going to give me the highest level of protection, and making sure that when I come back from my workout or when I wake up in the morning that my property is still going to be there. So just a little extra thought in our busy world can go a long way to preventing some of this property crime.
Yeah, and we're in it together. You're doing your best out there as a department to, and we do it here. That's why we have you on to talk about these things, keep it in the forefront. We may repeat ourselves, but those tips can help remind us and help, stay true to helping and doing this together to prevent said crimes from happening. And speaking of prevention, and why I say that, we are looking and will be opening for a police officer to come join the team. When I say job openings at City Fit, come join our team and the team Ned.
Yep. Yeah, we'd love to have you, Jeremy. So you can, right where to fill out that application. If you go to the city's website, those applications are being accepted through towards the end of February, I believe the 20th of February. That just opened up yesterday. And we pay those that don't have experience to attend a law enforcement academy. We also have some incentives for those that have prior law enforcement experience to come and join our team. We were authorized to add the 2 new positions with the town of Madison coming on board at the end of this year. And so we're looking forward to adding to our team and expanding some of our capabilities as a department with that regard. So I highly encourage anyone that has any interest to reach out, ask questions, learn a little bit more about the position.
All right, Ned, thank you so much for the update. If people want to keep up to date on what's happening at the department, besides watching Talking Fitchburg and this great interview, where can they find you at?
Well, Jeremy, they can hop on the interwebs and find us on Facebook and Twitter. And also we're, like I mentioned, the application, that information is available on our website. So fitchburgwi.gov/police.
All right, Ned, thank you so much for your time. Stay safe out there, stay warm, and we'll see you back next month.
Thanks, Jeremy.
You bet. Lieutenant Hartwig helping us out each and every month. We appreciate his time, and we'll check back in with the police department real soon. Take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be flood next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg, wrapping up the show. I want to thank, of course, our friends, the mayor and the mayor's office for helping us get that set up, and the police department for their help. We'll check back in with those folks later this month. As we wrap up, stay connected with Fact TV. Tonight, you got gymnastics. We had gymnastics live last night. Well, the replay of that, by the way, Verona won against Craig. Good competition there. And yeah, enjoy your weekend. Get outside. It's gonna be beautiful.